This is Texas, the land of oil, the land of conservatism, and the number 2 richest state in the country, behind California. But there's one question you're probably asking. How did Texas end up being a rich state? Well, first we have to answer the question how Texas became Texas, silly goose. So I'm here to tell you about the Texas Revolution. To understand how Texas became Texas, we have to understand Mexico. In 1821, they finally gained independence and formed the first Mexican Empire. And well, they have a lot of land. I mean, a lot of land. And people didn't really live there, except for the native people, which they didn't count. Sorry. But let's go back into the early 1800s, where many in the US were believing in the ideas of manifest destiny, where they believe it was their destiny to settle the continent. As the Spanish Empire was dying, the Treaty of Alamo was signed to give Florida to the United States and change the border right here. And so, our story finally gets to this point. Like I mentioned, nobody lives above this red line, but Guadalupe Victoria has a plan, the impresario system, which is basically a real estate agent, and it went something like this. Can I interest you in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to buy this plot of land? This is a good place to start a farm. The missus would be happy to bring the children here, and for the low price of 50 cents, this bad boy can be all yours. And so Texas's population was 3,500. It grew to 37,800, and the settlers were referred to as Texans. They started to outnumber the Taino people, and so as long as they converted to Catholicism and learned Spanish, they can become Mexican citizens. But in 1837, the Mexican government finally abolished slavery, and well, many Texans were slave owners. And oh yeah, they weren't learning Catholicism, and they weren't learning how to speak Spanish, so that's not working either. And on multiple occasions, the U.S. tried to buy Texas from Mexico 2 times, and it went out something like this. I can see Texas is kind of being a burden on you. What if we took that off your hands? No. Aw, come on, I'll be your best friend. No deal, Yankee. And so after Victoria's presidency, the law of 1830 was announced, meaning no more American immigration and higher trading tariffs. And this pissed off a lot of Texans. And in 1833, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna was elected as president. He got rid of the Mexican Congress and got rid of the Mexican Constitution, becoming a dictator. After that, much of Mexico would revolt against Santa Anna. In May of 1835, he destroyed the militia at Zacatecas, allowing his men to loot and pillage. In Texas, Mexican commanders began stomping down on any form of opposition. In September of 1835, they were sent to retrieve a cannon from Gonzales, and when they found the militia, they had a banner that says, "Come and take it." That was easy. They're gonna give us back the cannon. Even though casualties were low, the rebels won after the cannon was fired. This was war, and the Texans quickly made the provisional government, making Sam Houston head of the Texan army. And many border skirmishes did happen, inspiring more Texans, Tainos, Americans, and a few Europeans to join the cause. The Texas Army would amass 4,000 men. Santa Anna will personally command 6,500 men, and the Colonel Jim Bowie, Colonel Travis William, and the legend himself, Davy Crockett. They would fortify an old Spanish mission, the Alamo. Santa Anna brought 1,000 experienced men, and the Alamo's defenders were only a couple hundred men. Santa Anna later rose a red flag, cementing no mercy. The siege of the Alamo was brutal. The Mexican army rained down on the Alamo with heavy artillery. Jim Bowie was sick and left William Travis as the commander. Travis wrote desperately for reinforcements. Reinforcements never arrived. Travis, Bowie, and Crockett were all killed. Crockett was captured and executed. This picture will later cement his legacy as the Texas war hero. Santa Anna's reign of terror wasn't over. At the Battle of Goliad, he had 420 prisoners killed and piled up and burned. Thinking the Texans would give up, This didn't happen, so Sam Houston commanded 900 men and ambushed Santa Anna at the Battle of Jancito, and his men were crying out, "Remember the Alamo, remember Goliad," and Houston only suffered a little bit of casualties, and the Mexican side suffered a lot of casualties, and they captured Santa Anna. But there's one question you're probably asking me. Did they kill Santa Anna? What happened to him? Oh dear viewer, it wouldn't be a smart idea if they killed Santa Anna. No, for 3 weeks they held him for negotiations to sign the treaties of Velasco on May 14th, 1836. But in 1845, the United States annexes Texas and would later get into conflict with Mexico. That's right, I'm talking about... Today's shoutouts go to Rendon Jaws. Pretty cool if you like storytime videos. And congratulations to Mimsy Musings for reaching 100 subscribers. And like and subscribe for more, and check out my other videos if you want to keep learning about some history.